Phenomenology by Joshua Lewis, American College of Education. The history of phenomenology is from two Greek words, phenomenon, which means that which appears, and logos, which means the study. It is the study of structures of experience and consciousness in its simplest definition. It was founded in the early 20th century by Edmund Husserl. Although there was really this type of study prior to that, he was just the one that really kind of brought it all together and really started the movement. However, it is not a unified movement. It's rather a style of thought, a systematic, a thought of systematic reflection. The unique characteristics of this phenomenology study is it rejects the concepts of the objective research, and it prefers grouping assumptions through phenomenology epoch, which is the suspension of judgment. Consciousness is always conscious of something throughout these different intentionalities. Though they have different structures and different ways of being about an object, they're free of presuppositions and intellectualizing, and sometimes they're sometimes called the science of experience or the lived experience. When researchers said that reality cannot be grasped, Husserl countered that consciousness is consciousness of something other than yourself. It is the intentionality of an object. Phenomenologists prefer to gather data and capta or conscious experience rather than traditional data. Here's some quotes. This one is by Max Ferdinand Schasser, one of the leading researchers at the beginning. And he said, if the awareness of our limitations begins to limit our dim value of consciousness, as well as happens, for instance, in old age with regard to the values of youth, then we have already started the movement of devaluation, which will end with the defamation of the world and all of its values. Only a timely active resignation can deliver us from the tendency towards self-delusion. Immanuel Kant adds, I do not mean by this critique of books and systems, but the faculty of reason in general, in respect of all the knowledge rather that which it may strive independently of all experience. And lastly, Martin Edgar, why are there beings at all instead of nothing? The implementation steps of a phenomenology study are to assume a phenomenological attitude, and this would be, removing presuppositions, getting the right attitude of the intentionality of the object, read the entire written account to get a sense of the whole. So this could be observations, interviews, those types of things, that triangulation of data, and then the delineation of meaning units. So putting it all together and then transforming those meaning units into psychological structures of experience based constitutes of the experience. Some other interesting facts is that both psychology theory and logical theory, which phenomenology comes from, trace back to Aristotle. And nomine, which Husserl introduced from the Greek meaning to perceive, think, and intend, it is the ideal content. It's the act of consciousness, and Husserl characterized as the ideal meaning and as the object intended. So phenomenon, or the object as it appears, becomes the noumena, or the object as it is intended. The interpretations of Husserl's theory of noumena have given several and amount to different developments of Husserl's basic theory of intentionality. So here's the big question. Is noumena an aspect of the object intended, or rather a medium of intention? Here are the references for this presentation.